95. So you're looking at an overall combined record in this game of 400 wins and only 172 losses. And that guy right there, his ball club is on an outstanding roll, starting with the Tournament of Champions. They rolled through that, and they have not stopped.
8 games in a row. As you said, 64-47 against Kickapoo. That started the run, and it really took off after the outstanding championship final win over Christ the King. And like the Kickapoo Lady Chiefs, the Glendale boys are very balanced from an offensive end. Any of the 5 can hurt you. Brian Groh leads with 16 points a game, but if you try to double on him, Price or Stenger or Forbacher or Foley or Mike Galindo will drill you too. So really, you have to play straight up and take your chances.
They're not overly big. Neither team has a starter bigger than 6'5". Glendale with a couple of 6'4" guys and a trio of 6'3" guys. And at any time, you might see a man in the middle get the rebound and then take the ball up floor and lead the break. They've got that kind of versatility.
They're very solid offensively. They're very solid defensively. They get a lot of transition baskets from their defense. That's what Coach Keltner likes to see. And they're also a good free throw shooting team.
And those are the keys to an outstanding ball club, which both teams are, because you can say pretty much the same thing about Kickapoo. Glendale and Kickapoo for the second time this year. We'll be back right after this. At Kickapoo High School, Rob Evans with Steve Barnes as we await the start of the second meeting of the year between Glendale and Kickapoo, this time out of the Prairie. As we mentioned, the first game went to Glendale back in January, 64-47. Let's take a look at the Glendale starters. Not much has changed since then. The one change for tonight, Mike Galindo steps into the middle, replacing Justin Foley.
Justin Foley was sick during the Tournament of Champions. Galindo came in to start for him there, and they've played so well. Mike Keltner's decided not to mess with success, and Foley has been a big contributor as the 6th man off the bench. And really, positions don't matter with this team, and it really doesn't matter who starts.
Because either way, probably the first man off the bench is going to be Justin Foley, regardless of who gets into trouble, as it was when Galindo was coming off the bench. Anybody got in trouble, and he was usually the first man off the bench for the Falcons. Starting lineup for the Kickapoo Chiefs, and they have a little bit more balance in terms of positions. They have the true guards, and they have one of the better point guards around in Rob Samuels. This is a battle of point guards because Stu Stenger does an outstanding job for Glendale as well. But the Chiefs have come along since they moved John Weiss into the starting lineup, and he has picked things up.
He has played well. Ryan Helming missed the first part of the season with an injury. He's played well. And we mentioned the Glendale balance. In the last 2 wins for the Chiefs, both by 8 against Parkview and Central, they've had 4 starters in double figures also.
That's one thing about the Chiefs that we said about Glendale. They go to the free throw line, they hit their free throws. That's something that Roy Green prides his ball club on being able to do as well. And we've seen them on occasion this year where they have done exactly that.
This should be an outstanding ball game. And as anybody who follows high school basketball knows, if you don't have a big man, it comes down to point guards. And these are, if not the 2 best, 2 of the best in the city.
And we talk about Rob Samuels and how the Chiefs talk about him, and he's their quarterback out on the floor. Stu Stenger can have the same thing said about him, and he is also to the point where he can look for his shot a little bit more. Last year, he spent time making sure he got the ball into the hands of the big guys. This year, if nobody's moving around or if nobody's open or if nobody's hitting, he's not afraid to step to the line and take his chances, and played so well that he was named the most valuable player in the Tournament of Champions. And when you consider the long list of notables like Khalid Reeves who have held that honor, that is saying something about a little 5'9" left-hander.
Up there with Alonzo Mourning and Anthony Peeler and some of the other ones who have won that award also. That's pretty good. He could retire now and be in good company.
Todd Day, I think, who played for the University of Arkansas in the NBA now. So that list of players is a notable one. But yet, without him, without Stenger, it's doubtful that Glendale would have come away with this year's championship.
No question about that. And he is, I wouldn't say the main reason, because that would
demean the other contributions.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're such a solid 5-man unit.
And you can't have one without the other. You take away one of the 5 and the success is not there. It's Glendale, it's Kickapoo for the second time this year. The Falcons 19-3, the Chiefs are 16-6, and both are at 5-2 in Ozark Conference play. As both teams gather around their coaches, we'll be back after this 2-minute timeout.
The Kickapoo Chiefs being introduced to the home crowd. The students across the way giving them a standing ovation, as are most of the parents.
Well, it depends now on which standing ovation you're talking about. The Chiefs are standing and cheering. Glendale is kind of looking the other way.
They're standing but looking at the wall,
which is a lot better than bringing in the newspapers they used to bring in.
Ignoring the action on the floor. 19-3 against 16-6. Both 5-2 in the conference. Glendale second in the state in 4A. Glad to have you along with us for the second half of what should be an outstanding doubleheader. Game 1 certainly was 55-49 in favor of the Lady Chiefs. Number 2 over number 6 in the state in that one. There you see Roy Green with a few final instructions for Rob Samuels and the rest of the crew.
Yeah, in the first ball game, we talked about going to the free throw line, and Glendale went to the foul line a lot. The Chiefs had 3 players foul out. Glendale had 1. And I think that's one trend that has to change. Roy Green needs to keep some of his players in the ball game.
McElwain and Price to jump. And Rob Samuels will control it for the Chiefs. And both student sections are in this from the beginning. An outstanding atmosphere.
Ryan McElwain got away underneath and lays it in, 2-0.
Galindo with it the other way for Glendale. Gets the pass from Forbacher to the rack. Count it, and a foul.
Tim Turville and Wade Terrell, veteran area officials, working the game tonight. Double T with the foul call.
He'll get Helming. So we've played 25 seconds and we have our first foul. Galindo will go to the line to complete the 3-point play. And he does. So here's the Chiefs with their second possession. Glendale puts on a little pressure. Stenger almost with a steal. Ball is loose, down low. McElwain will get it. So he has all 4 of the Chiefs' points. Galindo to Forbacher. To Stenger to Brian Grove. He drilled Central with a 3-pointer in the second half in our telecast on Tuesday. Slapped away, almost stolen by Jay Jones. Kenny Price will get it in the lane. Turnaround is blocked by McElwain. Forbacher for 3, short. Price the rebound. Inside to Kenny. Nice pump fake from Kenny Price. And it's 5-4 Glendale. Weiss in the backcourt. And the Chiefs answer with Ryan Helming in a layup.
Right now, you can tell that Kickapoo has worked against the Glendale press.
Grove. Long. Rebound for Helming. Galindo jumps back to try to trap Samuels. Helming for 3, short. Big battle for the rebound. Stenger will come away with it. Several got a hand on it there. Stu spots for 3. Too strong. Forbacher. Won't go. Weiss the rebound. A forensic 2 minutes so far. Jones to the house. Blocked by, looked like Galindo. Price was in the area also.
Galindo got his hand up and swatted it away.
Stenger with it. How about this for a start?
It's like two heavyweights coming out swinging in the first round. You know it?
Price with the bounce to Stenger. What's he doing down there?
Posting up.
Over Samuels. McElwain the rebound.
Kind of surprising to say Stenger and posting up in the same sentence.
Weiss has it. Back out to Samuels. And he is capable of lighting it up from all over the court also. It's a real advantage when your point guard can shoot. Helming wanted the straight on three and slip. Samuels will reset, and both teams trying to calm down here a little bit now. Samuels and Stenger. That's Helming. Oh, with the elbow against Forbacher. Ryan all the way. 8-5 Chiefs. Helming with a strong move. Galindo. Forbacher will take it. And he was fouled. Ryan Helming doesn't like it. Neither does Coach Green.
I think what they're saying is, I'm not disputing the foul, it was there, but what they're saying is after all of the other stuff in the last 10 seconds you just let go, you're going to call that.
Here comes Foley for Galindo, and that is Helming's second personal foul. And you mentioned it in the open that Coach Green needs to keep his team in the ball game. Well, there goes Helming to the bench. David Smith will check in. Smith 6'4" and a junior. Forbacher at the line for three.
You know, the more I see this rule, the more I agree with Ed Beach. If you don't hit the first two shots, I don't care if you were fouled at half court, you don't get the third one.
There's the second one.
It's the old NBA rule. You get three to make two.
And there's the third one. 8-7. Jay Jones in trouble. But he'll draw a foul.
They just called that foul on number 23. Well, there is no 23. It'll have to be 33, which would be Groh.
All right. Chiefs with it with a 1-point lead. Samuels and Stenger. Rob directs traffic. McElwain trying to post on Foley down there. Weiss now over to Smith. Forbacher guards him. Brad Forbacher is all over David Smith. And he will draw the foul. When I said that, he was playing heads up clean defense, and he got a little bit too close. Chiefs will keep it. We're halfway through the first quarter. 8-7 home team. That's Smith with it wide open for three. Too strong and out of bounds.
Sorry, he did the right thing. If he's that open, he's got to pull the trigger on that one. And that's all you can do is say, keep shooting it.
And that's what Roy Green did as he jumped off the bench. Stenger with it. To Groh, down low, Foley. Nice look for Kenny Price and a foul. Rob Samuels will get called. Mike Keltner likes it.
Well, when the whistle blew, Jay Jones thought that he had been called on a beautiful block. And Wade Terrell said, no, it is Samuels who got him before the shot went up, or right as he started his motion.
Price gets the first. One of 5 Glendale Falcons in double figures for the season. He has 4.
This has got to be an easy game for coaches to get their players up for, because if you can't get ready to play this game, you can't get ready to play.
Weiss to Samuels. Smith by Groh. Now Bryan recovers. Back to Weiss. To Samuels again. Rob works the dribble. And he'll give it to Jones, who finds Smith. Weiss is open for three. It rimmed out. Smith, offensive rebound. No good. Glendale touched it last, so the Chiefs will keep it. Samuels will trigger. That's Smith with it. Back to Samuels. Samuels directs traffic. Groh watches him. They'll go to Jones. The Chiefs very patient on this possession as the Glendale students chant boring over there on the far side. And the Falcons force the turnover. This is Groh. Pull-up jumper won't go. Tap from Kenny Price is good. He has 6, and it's 11-8 Falcons. Smith and Samuels are in trouble. Now they get it to Weiss.
They thought, I was going to say, the Glendale students thought this game was boring. They should have been there 11 years ago when they played over at Glendale for the first time. This would have been a third quarter score for that particular ball game.
Foley will get called for the foul.
That was the year that in the first game the Chiefs ran up and down with Glendale and got beat by about 40, and Roy Green said that won't happen again, and he held the rock. Gave his team a chance to win that particular ball game.
Weiss has it off the inbound. Samuels is open. Now they go to him. McElwain and Foley battling down low. They'll go back to the top for Smith. It's been a while since the Chiefs have scored as we edge closer to the 2-minute mark. That's Jay Jones with it down low. McElwain with a position, and he couldn't finish.
Well, this is going to sound to me like, or sound probably like we're criticizing officiating, and I guess we are, but that was a bump foul underneath that was called when hand-to-hand combat with clubs and machetes was allowed earlier. And I guess it's because they're trying to get control of the game, and they seem to be doing that because that rough play that characterized the first couple of minutes has stopped. For Foley, he picks up his second.
And will leave in favor of Galendo while McElwain missed the first one short. Ryan gets the second. He has 5. Helming has the other 4. He's on the bench with 2 fouls, however. Groh in traffic finds Forbacher. 11-9 Glendale. Forbacher to Galendo. 95 seconds and counting in the first quarter. Stenger with the dribble. Stu looking for somebody. Samuels almost caused the tie ball, and now we'll get a foul. Weiss will get his first.
This game keeps being played at this pace. You're going to have to tear the jerseys off about 10 guys when this one's over.
Groh for 3. His teammates like it, and it's a 5-point Falcon lead. Weiss in the lane, now back out. Samuels moves it against Stenger. Jay Jones over to Smith. To Weiss, he's open for 3, and he missed it short. Rebound for Price. Stenger across. Let's see if they play for 1. I've seen them play for 1, then I've seen them shoot quickly.
Depends on which opens himself up first.
There goes Stenger to the basket, but Forbacher decided not to pass it to him. Probably a smart idea.
If they get a good shot, I'm sure they'll take it.
Stenger with the dribble. Samuels watches him. The point guards will battle nose to nose all night. Behind a screen, Stenger finds Groh for 3, and you can't leave him open. 17-9. Smith at the buzzer, no. So Brian Groh nailed back-to-back 3-pointers The second after a very patient offensive possession. We've played 1 quarter from Kickapoo. It's the visitors by 8. We'll be back. That's the count after 1 quarter. Brian Grove's 2 3-pointers have sparked the Falcons. Kenny Price also has 6. Brian McElwalm has 5 for the Chiefs. Ryan Helming has the other 4, but he also has 2 personal fouls. Now he is back in there as we begin the second quarter. Stenger across. That's Kenny Price. Over to Forbacher, lob for Price. McElwalm read it all the way.
You could see that pass coming like a bus down the lane.
Samuels. He'll take Stenger inside. Ball goes out of bounds, and Glendale will take it.
That shows you the kind of faith Roy Green has in Samuel's abilities, that he spreads the floor and lets Samuels go one-on-one and then try to create something in the lane. That time Stenger was equal to the challenge.
Price to Stenger to Forbacher. Back out to Groh to Stu once again. Glendale's not afraid to be patient on offense. There's Groh for the shot. It rimmed out. Helming with a rebound.
That's what makes the Falcons so dangerous. They can play patient, but they're also not afraid to get it up and down and shoot the 3.
Samuels has it kicked. Groh got a foot on it.
Normally on the high school level, that's a contradiction in terms, but this team can do both. They can play the half-court game, and they can also get out and run and shoot.
That's what sparked them against Central the other night. Got into a little bit of a transition. Groh got open for the 3s, and that was that.
And that's surprising. If you can run against Central and compete with their running game, you can do a few. You can do it well.
That's Jones with it. Jones with it again after the pass to Samuels. Inside from McElwalm. Offensive foul as Brian Groh got positioned down low.
Roy Green wants a quick timeout after the foul.
He needs to correct something as his Chiefs are down 8. We've played a minute and a half in the second quarter. We'll be back. (17-9) Glendale, and we'll see if the quick timeout from Roy Green will correct whatever it is he saw.
Well, what he's going to do is go to the half-court trap and see how Glendale handles that.
There's Groh, a little bit strong, and I believe it was Helming who was a little bit slow getting over there, and you can't let Brian Groh get lost in all those screens and sneak out there for that 3-pointer. That won't work.
Especially if he's on a roll.
Helming pulls up now, finds Weiss outside for Weiss for almost a 3, and there goes Price with a rebound. Ahead to Groh. Layup is good. Again, the transition basket, and it's a 10-point Falcon lead. Jones on the other end leans in to draw the foul. Kenny Price will get called. That is his first.
What makes Glendale, we drew this comparison in the first ball game. What makes Kickapoo so good is they get into transition. They know when to do it, and Glendale seems to do the same. They know when to run and they know when to pull back.
Jay Jones is in the scorebook. There seems to be a problem with a balloon in the stands, I believe. causing a distraction.
Well, you're looking at the Glendale student section. The problem is in the Kickapoo section, and the gentleman in the maroon coat goes up to take care of it. Free throw was good. Jones hit both of them.
19-11. The lead is 8. Stenger and Samuels. Stu off to Grow. Lost his man and missed the shot. Just a little short. And a couple of Chiefs, Helming and Samuels, crashed into each other trying to grab the rebound, and Glendale will keep it. Stenger to Grow. And Samuels will get called for a foul.
And you say that it looked like Grow walked. Well, perhaps he did, but the foul occurred first, according to the official.
That is Samuel's second. Stenger to inbound. Kenny Price with the dribble. Now he'll hand it back to the quarterback. They'll get Galindo in on the act now. Poked away, and Samuels will take it.
Hard to remember that Weiss is just a sophomore the way he plays, you know it.
McElwain up in traffic, no good, and he'll draw a foul. Galindo will get called for it. John Weiss is a nice player.
He certainly is, and you talk about, he does not give you the impression that he's a sophomore. Just the things that he does. He is a thorn in the side of the other team on defense.
If I dare to say it, the male equivalent of Tara Mitchum. I can't believe she's a sophomore. McElwain was 6. 19-12. Forbacher saved it. Galindo will shoot it and miss it. And Forbacher will get called for the foul on the rebound.
Foley and Forbacher with 2 now for Glendale. Samuels and Helming with 2 for Kickapoo, and we walk to the other end to shoot free throws. You talk about getting stuck on a score. Glendale jumped out 19-8, and they've been stuck on 19 most of the second quarter.
Samuels to shoot. He'll get the bonus. That is his first point of the night. 5 free throws and 4 buckets for Kickapoo so far in the first half. Samuels missed the second. McElwain got a hand on it, but Stu jumped up there to grab it. Stenger between the circles against Samuels. To Galindo. Forbacher tried to get through, but they wouldn't let him, and Kenny Price walked.
Brian Cates is going to come into the ball game, and Forbacher will take a seat for Glendale.
First action of the night for Cates. He and Forbacher switched off quite frequently Tuesday against Central. Samuels for 3, too strong. Weiss the rebound. Through the double team, back out to Samuels. In the lane, counted. Nice move by the senior point guard. 19-15. Chiefs to within 4.
7-0 run.
Stenger from way downtown. Stu says, I have the answer for that. 22-15. Inside 4 minutes to go in the first half. Now it's Helming's turn. And he's just a sophomore. Cates, no. Jones the rebound. All of a sudden, both teams seem to have awakened before Samuels walked with it. Perhaps he was too awake.
Well, he was already thinking about his next move, and the ball took a funny hop off the deck on him, and he was unable to corral it.
Stenger to Galindo. Price is open. Free throw line. Too strong. Jones the rebound.
Like the way Jones has gone about his business tonight. He looked like he was ready to play. Only scored 2 points, but he's done some other things for the Chiefs.
That's Helming, open for 3 again. He has 10, 2 3-pointers. And it's a 1-point Falcon lead. And that brings the Chiefs crowd back into it.
We talked about it in the first game. You had a Glendale spurt, and Kickapoo answered.
Kenny Price with it. To Galindo. Out of bounds to the Chiefs. Justin Foley will come in, along with Forbacher. Cates and Galindo will sit. Samuels directs the traffic as he dribbles across. His team is down by 1. Weiss with it to Helming. McElwain wants it. Instead, they go to Jones at the point. Now to Samuels. They tried to get it to McElwain. Stenger kicked it. Samuels to inbound. Price is on Helming this trip. Weiss has it. Almost lost it. They don't get it back. Weiss against Grove. The sophomore did everything but finish. He made it happen and then lost it. 2 minutes to go, first half. Glendale by a point, 22-21. That's Kenny Price. To Forbacher. Now to Stenger. Price was open for a moment as Grove went to the deck. Stinger's drive is cut off. Back to Grove for 3. Good, and a foul. Weiss will get called for his second. Grove will go to the line for a 4-point play.
Roy Green didn't think there was a whole lot there.
Grove missed it.
And I'm not sure he was wrong.
90 seconds to go. Down low. Jones won't go. Falcons quickly up the floor to Grove, and he traveled. David Smith will come back in for Kickapoo. Weiss will take a seat. Smith to Samuels. Back to Smith. Through the lane goes Jones. Contact, no foul. McElwain the putback. Ryan has 8, and it's a 2-point game with a minute to play. Foley for 3, too strong. Price with the tap and the foul. So we'll walk to the other end and shoot free throws. That is Price's second. Jay Jones will be at the stripe, trying to tie it for the Chiefs. There's one.
A user-friendly rim that time.
Second one is straight through, and we're tied.
I tell you what, if Jones is unable to play college football, I think some small college could take a chance to get a pretty good basketball player, you know what? Or a small school could get both out of it because he is a good athlete.
Forbacher in traffic. And Mr. Jones will pick up the foul. That is his first. Forbacher will go to the line. first one is good for Brad. All 3 of his points have come from the stripe. Foley had a hand on it and knocked it out of bounds. 39 seconds to go, first half.
And the same problem that will befall one of these teams is the same thing that will befall one of the girls' teams. One of these two won't get out of the district, which is a shame as far as I'm concerned. But that's the way life is.
And if they were in different districts, one of them wouldn't get out of sectional. So
yeah, but that's fine. No, they're getting into the second or the next round of state play.
10 seconds to go. Let's see what Samuels does. Oh, nice block from Kenny Price. They'll call Foley for the foul, however. That is Justin's third. Samuels to the line. Helming will leave as a precautionary measure. Samuels hits the first. He has 4, and we're tied again. Chiefs lead.
Marcus Moore checked into the lineup to play the last 7 seconds for Kickapoo.
Stenger across. Galindo is open at the buzzer. Good. So Mike Galindo hits the pull-up jumper. And that will give the Glendale Falcons a 1-point lead at halftime. We'll be back.
It's halftime. It's 28-27. Glendale with the advantage. And, you know, you talk about Galindo's last second shot. It was literally last second because when he went up into the air, the clock was under 1 second, and it was going down in terms of tenths of a second when that ball was in the air.
Had enough body control to pull up and hit it. And again, as usual, the scoring is very balanced for both sides. Brian Groh leads with 11, 9 of them on 3-pointers. Kenny Price has 6. Galindo with 5. Stenger and Forbacher with 3. Justin Foley came off the bench to commit 3 personal fouls, and he has not scored. We saw Brian Cates for a little bit in the first half. He has not scored either. For Kickapoo, Ryan Helming has 10, including a pair of long bombs. Ryan McElwalm has 8. Rob Samuels with 5, and Jay Jones with 4. And this is the Sweetheart King and Queen competition going on.
Which means we're going to have an extra long halftime, I believe, as they go through the ceremonies to crown the king and queen. The thing that was concerning the coaches, and coaches, whether it's homecoming in football or king and queen in basketball, they're always concerned to how their team will play with the dance at night. I think the Chiefs have the dance tomorrow night, is what Roy Green was saying. So he goes, we should be pretty focused on the ball game. And by evident of the first half, actually the second quarter, they are. They got out of the gate slow, but picked it up in the second quarter.
Both teams, I think, have played pretty well offensively and defensively. Now we've seen some sort of rough moments, some slow moments in the ball game, but as we said in the first one, you can attribute that to good defense. Both teams have hung in there. Brian Groh's broken free for a couple of 3-pointers when nobody's been on him, but other than that, both teams have hit the boards hard, and both teams have shot free throws pretty well.
Glendale with 4 threes. Groh has 3 of them. Stu Stenger has the other one. If you remember, Stinger's was a big 3 to kind of stem a Kickapoo tide that was rolling in. And then Ryan Helming hit a couple of 3s to get the Chiefs back into the ball game after Glendale jumped out to a 17-9 advantage at the end of the first quarter. It was Kickapoo 18-11 in the second quarter to give us our 28-27 halftime score. We're at halftime. Ryan Helming with 10. Ryan McElwain with 8 for the Chiefs. Rob Samuels with 5. And Jay Jones with 4. Groh with 11. Price with 6. Galindo with 5. And Stenger and Forbacher have 3 apiece for the Glendale Falcons. 28-27. The Falcons lead it. And we'll be back right after this. We're at halftime. It's 28-27. Glendale has the advantage. And while we have the extra long halftime show for the crowd here at Kickapoo, that'll give us a chance to sit down. And I am always one who wants to talk baseball with Neil Pittman, the head baseball coach here at Kickapoo. And first of all, when do you guys start working, or have you already started?
No, the high school season begins February 28th with all spring sports through the State High School Association rules.
Well, I'm used to pitchers and catchers reporting about the middle of the month and people getting down there about the 1st of February, so that's why I asked that. What's your ball club going to look like this year, Neil?
We lost a lot of seniors last year throughout the team. We'll be real young. Pitching is going to be by committee again this year for us, but I think that the young players that I have the ability athletically to come on and be a force by the end of the year. Joplin and Lebanon, of course, would be my pick in the area to be an outstanding ball clubs.
I was going to ask you that. What about the city? Inside the city, is it a toss-up anybody's race?
I would think so. You know, it's always been very competitive between Hillcrest, Glendale, and Kickapoo. I would throw in Parkview this year to say that they have some experience on the mound and some quality athletes to put out on the field.
How in the world do you juggle the baseball season starting with the end of basketball? Because you have kind of have a vested interest in how the Lady Chiefs do.
I have a real good staff. Kerry Walker's my assistant, and we work real good together along with John West, and together we make sure that I'm at the right place at the right time.
And sometimes, most of the time, that's basketball because Casey plays, and they're off to another great start.
We're having a lot of fun watching her, and I, as a father, want to make sure that I'm there every chance I get.
And you say that you relegate some of the early season duties to the staff. You start the 28th with work. When do you play the first games?
We open with Glendale in Kansas City, playing North Kansas City High School and Winnetonka High School. That's been a traditional last 3 or 4 years doubleheader for us up there.
Now, how important is it to get those early season games in? Because I know because of the length of the season, you really don't get to play as many games as you'd like, do you?
We don't play nearly as many as the college level does, but we get 18 games, regular season games, in one tournament, and then, of course, the district. So as you go along, you try to identify coming into the season where your strengths are going to be, and if it's pitching, you may want a few starts together early. And most coaches go into the spring season at least looking for some consistency out of their staff, and maybe some of those people who are still lingering and wanting to play good baseball from the summertime.
Now, how important is it to find more than 1 or 2 good starters? Are you able to get through the high school season with 1 or 2 really good starters, or do you have to go a little deeper than that?
No, I would think in high school baseball, because of the climate and because of the number of games, if you have 2 good ones, you're good in shape. But you always want to have that third one, or at least a couple in the bullpen that can come in and throw strikes and give you some innings in there that you might need.
Well, I know that you're enjoying basketball, but thanks for visiting baseball with us for a little bit.
My pleasure.
Neil Pittman, the head baseball coach at Kickapoo High School, has been our guest. We're at halftime. Glendale with a 28-27 halftime lead, and we'll be back in 2 minutes. It's 28-27, Glendale with the advantage. Both teams are back out on the floor, and well, we had the coronation at halftime, and the envelope, please.
The Sweetheart King and Queen. The king is none other than Mr. Brent Chisholm, and the queen is a familiar name to basketball fans, Courtney Mushrush.
So she's had a pretty good night tonight.
I would say she has.
They got a win. She had 4 points and a basket full of rebounds, and gets crowned queen at halftime of the boys varsity game, which the Chiefs are trailing Glendale right now, but by one, 28-27. And talk about a last 20 seconds or so, but the Chiefs getting the ball down floor and getting the shot, and then Glendale coming back at the buzzer and getting a shot to fall as Glendale hit one to put the Falcons on top by the 1 point at halftime. Take a look at the scoring once again. Brian Groh with 11, Kenny Price with 6 for Glendale. Mike Galindo has 5. After that, you've got Forbacher and Stenger with 3 apiece. Justin Foley has 3 fouls. Price and Forbacher have 2 apiece. Ryan Helming with 10. Ryan McElwain with 8. Rob Samuels has 5, and Jay Jones has 4. And in the foul department, Kickapoo with 2 players with 2. Samuels has 2, and Ryan Helming has 2. And Helming has a couple of 3-point shots for the Chiefs, who used that nice little run to get back into the ball game after Glendale led 17-9 at the end of 1 quarter. 28-27. We're at halftime. Back with the start of the second half right after this. Set to start the third quarter. 28-27. Glendale has a 1-point lead, and they will start the second half with Forbacher, Groh, Price, Stenger, and Galindo, their starting lineup, while Roy Green will counter with his starting 5 of Samuels, Weiss, McElwain, Helming, and Jones. The Chiefs dressed in white shoot at basket left, and the second half is underway as Groh goes out to contest the pass. Helming missed the shot. Groh gets the rebound. Stenger avoids the landmine at mid-floor and pulls up. Tried to force their feed the pass into the lane. Glendale fell down, and Helming intercepts. Samuels with the basketball. The Chiefs shoot for the lead. Samuels and Weiss in the backcourt. They feed it into the post. McElwain had it stolen away from him, and it's out of bounds. Galindo caught it and carried it out. It was 17-9 Glendale in the first quarter, 18-11 Kickapoo in the second quarter. Samuels to Helming, head of the circle. He thought about it but didn't take it. Jones down the alley underneath, forced it up. It will not fall, and a foul is called.
Jay Jones decided to take it all the way and drew the defense toward him. Almost had a 3-point play.
Even though Price was there hanging on him, it was Galindo picks up the foul, and that'll be Galindo's second, which I'm sure has Mike Keltner happy, because that would have been the third for Price. And we're tied at 28. Jay Jones with 5 points.
All from the free throw line.
He has 6, and the Chiefs are on top by 1. Glendale into the offensive end. Groh head of the circle. Weiss will shadow him. Stenger will bring it back out front between the rings. Groh head of the circle into the lane, back outside to Stenger. He'll drive by Samuels, put it on the glass. The ball is tipped to Forbacher. He's out near the 3-point line. Stenger underneath. Galindo draws a crowd, and Helming takes it away from him. So the Chiefs by 1 with the ball. Samuels cross floor to Weiss. He looks at McElwain in the lane, drives down that way, but has to reverse and come back out top. 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the third quarter as Jones gets it at the high post. McElwain posting up in the lane. He's been in there for a long time, and there's the 3-second call.
Let's see if that defensive turnover will get the offense in gear here. Glendale's come out a little bit flat in the first 2 minutes.
They have not scored a point. The Chiefs have only put 2 on the board as Forbacher gets a pick from Glendale. Stenger with the ball out beyond the top of the circle. Price at the 3-point line. Glendale to Stenger. He's going to shoot the 3, and it's no good, but Forbacher in the lane puts it up and draws the foul.
Forbacher with good position there.
Mike Keltner was telling the story during the championship game, and right after it, Bob Oliva came up to him. He said, "Your German player beat us," talking about Forbacher. And he said, "Well, Forbacher has never been to Germany, has probably never been close to going over there." But he said, "Well, he's never been to Germany." And he goes, "You know what I mean." He's got the free throw to tie the game at 29. Against the press, Weiss beats it with a dribble. Samuels bounces it down low, and the ball stolen by Galindo. Actually, it looked like he was the recipient of the pass, the intended recipient. Stenger brings it back out front with 5:20 to play, third quarter. After the second quarter, this third quarter has been very slow paced. Forbacher with a dribble drive into the lane to the house, and he draws the foul.
And that'll be the third on Helming.
Helming looked like he swatted it away clean, but got him before that.
Looked like they might have called Samuels.
Or McElwain. They put 44 on the board.
No, there.
Now they change and put Samuels on the board. Either way, it is somebody's third. Free throw is good, and it's 30-29. Sometimes your eyes deceive you, Steve. Forbacher with 5 points. He's hit 2 of his 4 free throws. Weiss over the top to Jones. Cross floor to David Smith. Samuels 3-point arc. Smith looks into the corner for Weiss. They'll dump it inside to Jones. He'll put it off the window. Jones has 8. 31-30.
That was his first basket. Other 6 from the free throw line.
4.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Galindo sets a pick. Forbacher fires a 3, and it's in and out, no good. Galindo got a piece of it as he tried to keep it alive, and we're going to get a whistle as McElwain gets the rebound, and Galindo is going to be called for a foul.
I think that's what you call a hog tie, isn't it?
Well, it turned out that way. It was incidental contact to begin with. Then I think Galindo tried to press his luck a little bit and grab a hold of McElwain as McElwain trying to get away from him, and that's where the foul occurred. David Smith with the ball. Samuels at the 3-point line. Down to the 4-minute mark. Justin Foley will come in at the next stoppage of play. Weiss is all alone at the top of the key. The shot is good. The basket should count. And a foul away from the ball. So you count the hoop to make it 34-30. Weiss with his first 3 of the night.
And the foul is against Kenny Price. That is his third.
And Glendale is going to take time to talk it over because Kickapoo will get the ball out of bounds when we return. 3:51 to play. Kickapoo by 4, and we'll be back right after this. Rob Evans with Steve Barnes back at Kickapoo High School with Mike Keltner using his first timeout with 3:51 to go in the third quarter. And the Chiefs with a chance to run off potentially, I guess, a 6-point offensive series. They got the 3 from Weiss, and they get the ball back.
Coach Keltner thought the momentum was going the other way, and he saw a defensive breakdown that he wanted to correct.
And as usual, Coach was right because momentum has swung. And the Chiefs look to get it in. Having trouble. Knocked out of bounds by Forbacher. Samuels again to Trigger. Comes into Smith. Back to Samuels. They look low. Nobody home. Samuels and Forbacher in a bit of a mismatch. McElwain underneath. Has it taken away as Forbacher doubled down to help out. And he brings the ball up floor himself. Stenger to Foley. Weiss denies Groh the ball. Now they get it to him and set a pick. Groh comes up firing from 22 feet. It's no good, and Jay Jones rips it off the board.
That was the shot they wanted right there. Groh was open off the screen.
So the Chiefs will probably work it down under 3 minutes before giving up the basketball, unless a wide open shot presents itself, which it does, and Smith missed it from the corner. Jones gets the offensive rebound and comes out front to Samuels. Jones will take Price down the lane. A block is going to be called on Price.
That is Kenny's fourth, and he didn't get his feet set.
The fact that he didn't get his feet set led to him being called for the foul, as opposed to Jones, who kind of led with that forearm right out in front. But if the defensive player is not set, the responsibility is his to get in position. Groh knocks it out of bounds.
Helming came in during the break there.
And Price stays in with the 4 fouls. 2:53 to go in the third. Jones gets it inbounds. They're doubling down on McElwain, and Stenger steals it away, feeds it to Price in the lane. He caught it, missed the shot, and I think he just fouled out. No, they're going to hit Foley with it. And Foley picks up his 4th foul. Both he and Price were climbing on the back of the Chiefs in the lane.
Well, and it was interesting there because Foley actually climbed Price's back. He was the 3rd one there.
So with 2 players having 4 fouls, Mike Keltner leaves them both in the lineup. Samuels against Price out front. Pass is knocked away by Kickapoo. 2:23 to go, and look for Glendale to go into some motion, as he's already indicated he wants to work the ball around. Price with the dribble. Jones guards him. They give it to Stenger. Stenger into the lane, puts up the layup, and he hits it. He's come up with 2 big shots twice tonight when Glendale has needed points. It's a 2-point game under 2 minutes to play in the third. Samuels with a spin at mid-floor. Avoids a potential double team. They get it to Jones. Jones will kick it back out front to Samuels. Down to 1:40 to play in quarter number 3. Jones gets it underneath, puts it up after splitting 2 defenders. Somehow he kept his pivot foot and scored.
Nice move from Jones. He's into double figures with 10.
Foley for 3. It's no good. Price will run it down, and a foul is called on Jones. That will be Jones' second. 36-32. Kickapoo on top by 4 with 1:13 to go.
And Brad Forbacher says, wait a minute. He pointed at the scoreboard as if to say, is that correct?
Well, Wade Terrell says something is right. He went to the scorer's table and then comes back out of the floor and talks to Roy Green. I guess the clock ran, so they put 7 seconds back on the clock with 1:19 to go, and Stenger throws it away on the inbound. Samuels with the intercept and missed the layup. Weiss gets the rebound. Being double teamed, that leaves Samuels open on the baseline. He'll feed it across the lane, and McElwain will get the layup.
Price went for the steal that time, left his man open.
38-32. It's a 6-point game. McElwain with 10, but only 2 here in the quarter. And we're under a minute to play as Stenger works the ball out front. Forbacher drives into the lane as they spread the floor. Price in the corner. Now look at Forbacher posting up. Price to Foley, and he's open for three. Price with a tip. And the Chiefs will get the final shot of the quarter, leading by 6.
Roy Green jumped off the bench, looked at Rob Samuels, and pointed to his head, meaning be smart.
This time, Stenger guards Samuels, who penetrates and has his pocket picked again. Foley feeds it ahead to Stenger, and a foul is going to be called on Stenger. Stenger laid a hand on his back, but it looked like that Helming had lost his footing and was going down, but Stenger helped him the rest of the way. And Stu picks up his first foul. Kevin Chisholm is going to come into the Chiefs lineup with 3.1 seconds to go, and Helming will now step out on the floor as Chisholm inbounds and Weiss sits down.
Brian Cates is in for Glendale, replacing Price, who has 4 fouls.
Throw it long. Ball is going to be caught by Samuels. He's going to get the leap and leaner, but it won't go. And that's the end of the third quarter. 38-32. Kickapoo leads by 6 as we go to the fourth quarter. Glendale had 28 points at halftime. They have 32 at the end of 3 quarters. And that's not the type of offense that you need to win a high school basketball game. 4 points in a quarter. The Chiefs outscored them 11-4 in the third and lead 38-32 as we start quarter number 4.
Well, as you said before, we won't videotape the third and send it to Springfield, Mass.
Not hardly. Glendale to inbound to start the fourth quarter. Forbacher finally puts it on the deck and goes to Stenger. Cates. Foley at the top of the circle. Feeds it into the lane to Forbacher, and the ball is knocked free, and we get a whistle. Jay Jones picks up foul number 3.
$15 fouls on Glendale, 12 on Kickapoo.
The numbers are 6 and 4 here in the half, with the Chiefs committing just their 4th foul. 7:35 to play. The way that both of these teams can put points on the board, this game is far from over. However, Glendale can't afford to get much further behind, and Groh will cut it in half. That's his 4th 3 of the game, and he has 14 points. 38-35. The press is applied. Weiss will get away from Stenger, go between his legs, and beat the press with the dribble. Price is back in. He's guarding Samuels on the give and go. Jones underneath. Travel.
Lost the handle as he was going up.
You notice the gamble that Mike Keltner is taking, leaving Price in there, but he's also got him guarding Samuels, and they can give Samuels some room out at the point. Underneath, Foley guarded by McElwam. He spins. He puts the layup up and in, and it's a 1-point game. That's Justin Foley's first basket of the night.
And he is also playing with 4 fouls.
He doesn't have the luxury of guarding a guard, however. He has to play the postman underneath. Groh jumps up to try and trap Weiss, but they can't do it. And we get a block called on Brian Groh. Second foul called on Groh. And the Chiefs are in the bonus, so we'll shoot free throws. Roy Green has his ball club right where he wants them with 6:41 to go in terms of having the lead, but more importantly, they are going to the foul line now. Weiss sends it in the air, and he hits it. Four points for John Weiss. And he missed the second one. Price will snag it. And he'll dribble it out himself. He gets away from Helming, feeds it underneath. Forbacher for the three, and he missed it, left it short. Price will save it. But Stenger poked it away from Groh. Glendale had a shot for a wide open, about 12 to 14 footer in the lane, but Stenger poked it away from his teammate. Bounce to McElwain for the shot. He missed it underneath, and the battle is won by Forbacher, and Glendale gets it back with a chance to tie. They were down 6 at the start of the quarter. Stenger loses the dribble. Price comes out to relieve the pressure. They look at Foley in the lane, but can't find him. Price to go one-on-one. Picks up the dribble. Outside to Stenger with 5:50 to play. Glendale looking for the tie. A 3-ball would give him a lead. 5:35 to play as Foley rumbles into the lane to Groh. Head of the circle for the lead. It's no good. Samuels had position and gets the rebound over Stenger. Samuels picks up his dribble. Stinger's all over him, and Samuels takes timeout. 5:20 to play, 39-37 Kickapoo. The Chiefs use their second timeout. They have 2 remaining, and we'll return right after this. Rob Evans with Steve Barnes back at Kickapoo High School. I think we would be remiss if we did not point out that when Samuels was bringing the ball up the floor, and he handles it pretty well, every time he made a spin move, though, Stenger was there defensively. That was a good job of guarding the point by Stu Stenger.
He forced the timeout.
Samuels will handle the basketball out front. Weiss off to Helming. They'll look at McElwain posting up. They lob it underneath. He tips it over to Weiss, who lays it in. That did not go as planned because McElwain could not catch it, but he got a hand on it, and Weiss was in the right place at the right time. It's a 4-point lead for the Chiefs. We're under 5 minutes to play. Price to Justin Foley. Foley rumbles into the lane, pulls up, 10-foot pop too hard. Helming gets the rebound. Helming to Jay Jones. He'll work on Price. Kenny gives him room. Weiss for 3. Yes. Weiss has come up with 5 big points there. Forbacher to answer. He cannot. Ball is tipped, and a foul is called on Jay Jones, and now that'll be Jones for it.
The Chiefs are riding a sophomore.
Well, neither team can claim foul trouble anymore. Foley gets it into the lane, and Samuels comes down to double back, and we get a held ball, which will give it to Kickapoo. Price and Foley had 4 fouls in the middle of the third quarter, but they were able to weather it. And now we're down we'll go under 4 minutes here in a moment.
Chiefs starting to get a sniff of victory here. They feel like that they're in control.
They lead by 7 as Weiss spins and dribbles into the lane. Lost the handle. It's out of bounds. Last touch by Brian Groh.
And you get a slight indication that Glendale's starting to scramble just a little bit.
Well, the way they put points on the board, I'm not sure they need to just yet, but you're right. They are beginning to show signs of doing that. Lob it in to Helming. He lost his footing, fell down, lost the ball, but Jones picked it up. Fade away is not going to go, and McElwain will climb on the back of Justin Foley, I believe.
And the intensity level out on the floor is very high.
McElwain with foul number 2. Now, both teams will be shooting free throws from here on out. There's a bad pass. Weiss with a steal. Stenger knocks it away. And a foul is called.
Roy Green wanted an intentional foul. He's not going to get it.
He shouldn't get it either. He was going for the ball and slapped most of the ball, and the foul does not go to Stenger. It goes to Groh. So Stenger picked the ball clean, and Groh picked up the foul coming up from behind, and Mike Keltner wants to talk with 3:29 to go. The Chiefs lead by 7 and will return. Well, with 3:29 to play, both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. The Chiefs, however, have the advantage on the scoreboard at 44-37. Wade Terrell kind of sighing, figuring he's got about 3.5 minutes to work tonight. And John Weiss will go to the line. Groh picked up that last foul as Weiss makes it an 8-point game. And Glendale, who came down the last time a little lackadaisical on the offensive end, they need to pick up the pace just a little bit, but it's not time to panic yet. Weiss in double figures with 11 all of the second half, and the Chief lead is 9 with 3:20 left to play. Galendo is back into the lineup, and he's got it to Stenger. Price underneath. Kevin Chisholm in the game guarding him. Price can't get it to fall, but Forbacher gets the rebound. He puts it up and in, and a foul.
First bucket of the night for Brad Forbacher came at the right time for Glendale.
Chisholm picks up the foul. Kevin Chisholm, a 6'3" sophomore, giving Jay Jones a breather, and he picks up a foul at an inopportune moment and will sit down as Jones comes back in. Foley will check in as Forbacher completes the 3-point play. Total of 8 points now in the ball game for Brad. Ball comes inbounds. It's a 6-point game. 3:05 to play as Price guards Samuels in mid-floor. Jones has it high. Helming with the ball. Thought about a 3. Feeds it out to Samuels instead. Clock beginning to be the ally of the Chiefs. They're going to try to put a hole in this one. Stab the ball. The idea is to eventually get to the free throw line. 2.5 minutes to play. Samuels backs it out. All the city coaches in high school are in favor of a shot clock, but here is where the Chiefs take advantage of the rule.
And Brian Groh just picked up his 4th foul.
Jay Jones will shoot him, and Mike Galendo comes in, and Foley sits down. And nobody likes to run up and down the floor and shoot the ball more than Roy Green. But yet the rules are, and you take advantage of them. Jay Jones with a free throw. He's got 11 now. Give him 12. 2:14 to play, and Glendale in some trouble. They need to hustle. Forbacher into the lane. Missed the shot. Galendo gets it back, brought it down to the floor, and Samuels gets control of the ball and calls timeout. A heads-up play, but I'm not sure he had the ball. Mike Keltner doesn't bother to argue it, and Samuels picks up and calls the 3rd timeout for the Chiefs. And right now Glendale is looking at a 3-possession game, even though they do get the basketball. Well, I take it back. It was not a held ball, so the Chiefs come up with the ball, and they've got to figure out how to get a stop in a hurry and then make it a 3-possession game and hit some shots.
Coach Keltner's telling his team basically that right now.
They scored 8 points in the first 6 minutes of the quarter. As you look at the crowd, close to capacity, but not quite here at Kickapoo. The first ball game went to the Lady Chiefs, 55-49. Behind the 17 points of Aaron Jones. Jenny Anderson had 14 and Casey Pittman had 12. Tara Mitchum had 14, Amy Thompson 13, and Molly Steffes with 12 for Glendale. In this one, Jones has 12, McElwam and Helming with 10, Weiss has 11, and Samuels has 5 as the starters have done all the scoring for Kickapoo. Samuels gets the ball into the forecourt. Stenger reaches in and commits the foul, or at least gets in the way, and is called for a foul. That'll be his second. Groh with 14, but nobody else in double figures. Forbacher with 8, Price with 6, 5 apiece for Stenger and Glendale, and Foley has 2. Only 2 bench points tonight, and the free throw is no good. So Glendale still has a heartbeat with 1:50 to go. Stenger to the house. The foul is called on Samuels, and that's his 4th.
Brian Groh was trying to spot up for a 3 that time, but Stenger saw the opening and took it himself.
With 1:48 to go, Glendale needs 2 free throws to have a chance, I would think, to get back in it. First free throw is good, and Stenger has 6. When you're down by 6 or 7 late in the game, you've got to take advantage and score points when the clock is stopped. Stenger with 7, 48-42 with 1:45 to go, and a foul. Forbacher gets called for his 3rd. Trouble is now with Price, Foley, and Groh each with 4. Forbacher and Galindo each have 3. Got to be careful who commits the foul.
Stenger has 2, so he'll probably try for at least 1.
Jay Jones hits his foul shot. He has 13.
9 free throws for him.
Nope, he's got 10. 10 of his 14 points from the foul line, and it's an 8-point game with 1:45 to go. Stenger to Groh in the corner. Stenger off to Price, who jumps for 3, and it won't go. Helming with the rebound to Samuels. Under 90 seconds to go in the game. Samuels in jail. Will he use a timeout? He takes their last, but with an 8-point lead, you can afford to do that with 1:24 to go. 50-42. Kickapoo with the advantage. They're 1:24 away from a win when we return. .124 to play. It is an 8-point game, and the Chiefs have used their final timeout. It would probably be more important if the score was reversed, because the Chiefs wouldn't have a way to stop the clock, but right now they're really not interested in stopping the clock. It's just that Glendale had Samuels in jail. Jones gets it inbounds. He's not the guy to foul the way he's been hitting free throws tonight. He hands it to Samuels. Stenger comes up and steals it away. Price at the 3-point line. Penetrates into the lane, fakes 2 men in the air, feeds it to Forbacher underneath, and a foul is called.
That'll go on Jones.
He's done.
Yep.
So Jay Jones fouls out with 14 points. And once again, Glendale with a chance to score with the clock stopped, down by 8.
Jay Jones gets a standing ovation. He played well, and he'll be missed at the free throw line.
And I think Kevin Chisholm becomes the target for the Falcons, simply because he's just the newest player out on the floor. Free throw will not fall, and McElwam gets the rebound, and Wade Terrell with a very quick foul, and Mike Galindo picks up his fourth. It was so quick that no time ran off the clock.
So 4 Falcons have 4 fouls.
Foley's going to come in, and Galindo will sit down. Minute 5 to play, and McElwain with a couple of free throws. Actually, he's got to get the first to get the second. But the way the Chiefs have been shooting free throws tonight, it's almost like 2 shots every time down.
And the Falcons with only 14 points in the second half.
Some pretty salty defense by Kickapoo. McElwain with 12, and he thinks this one might be over. Stenger looks to put the ball up on the glass and draw a foul. He draws a foul, and Samuels is gone for the night. With 57.1 seconds to go, David Smith will come in and take his place.
And he and Stu Stenger shake hands at the free throw line. Those guys have battled all night.
That handshake was one that says, we'll see you later. Possibly down in Joplin in the district. And as I say that, I know full well that the Joplin Eagles, who own wins over both of these two teams this year, will have something to say about that. Free throw by Stinger's good. He has 8. Make it 9, and Galindo will come in as Glendale sets the press. Down 8 with 57.1 to play. Weiss will have to handle the ball. They get it into McElwain, leave him unguarded, and he'll hand it back to Weiss. The Falcons go for the steal, and Price just fouled out of the ball game. .5 seconds to go, and Mike Keltner is going to use this as an impromptu timeout as he calls his team over. He'll get 30 seconds to put his sub into the ball game to replace Price. That sub will be Foley, and John Weiss is going to go to the free throw line. So 3 players have fouled out of the game.
And we have 4 more with 4 fouls.
We still have 51.5 seconds to go. So, yeah, we could see 5 or 6 players foul out of this game yet.
I hope you're not double parked.
Front end is no good, and Groh gets the rebound to Stenger. Got to get a shot up pretty quick, and it's got to be a 3. Unless they get a clear path to the basket. Stenger dumps it off. Vorbacher missed a no-footer. Stenger pokes it out of bounds. Foul on Groh. He's done. .6 seconds to go. He fouls out with 14 points.
It was Glendale by 17 at their place last month. Quite a turnaround.
Free throw is no good. Home court has a tendency to do that for you in this series, though. Stenger into the lane. And another foul. Foul is on Weiss, and my question at this point is, why are the Chiefs committing fouls?
That's Roy Green's question, too.
Smith will sit down as a substitute is put into the ball game. I think it was Greg Bouillon who checks in. 6-foot senior. Stenger with a free throw at 28.2 seconds to go. He has 10, make it 11. And a foul right off the bat with 27.3 seconds to go. You know, we've said this game has been over several times, and by all rights it should. But every time we do, the Chiefs will stop the clock and allow Glendale to put points on the board without the clock moving. And then the last 2 trips down, the Chiefs have missed front end 1-and-1s.
Forbonker with the foul, his 4th. Chisholm to the line.
No good. Foley with a rebound. Down to 25 seconds, so Glendale does need to hustle. Stenger for 3, cut it in half, and he does, and Glendale takes timeout. Timeout taken. That's the 3rd of the game for the Falcons, and it's 52-49 with 19.1 seconds to go. Stenger with his second 3 of the contest.
Well, now,
this is a ball game that by all rights should be Glendale's 4th loss of the year, but somehow they're still in it.
Well, and it's because Kickapoo has missed their free throws.
And because they have allowed Glendale to shoot free throws down by 8. This is or are they down by 10?
8, I think.
8-point deficit, 52-44, so we're looking at a 5-point run. Since the Chiefs have scored, and Mike Keltner says, okay, here's what you got to do. Right now, they've got some time to try for a steal.
Oh, yeah, they do.
And the Chiefs, you got to remember, if they can't get the ball in bounds, they don't have any timeouts. They've got to get it in.
And the question is, who do you foul? I would say 0-0 Chisholm, since he missed last time on the line.
And he gets it inbounds, and there's the foul. Brian Cates comes in and commits his first foul. So Cates is in the game solely to do what he just did. So Chisholm has to step to the stripe and hit the free throw. 18.2 seconds to go. Price and Groh have fouled out for Glendale. Chisholm at the line. No good. Glendale with a chance to tie. And they are going to get the ball to Stenger. He's open for 3, and he's fouled. Unbelievable. He gets 3 free throws with 11 seconds to go to tie the game.
And the sophomore John Weiss committed the foul. He thought he had the block and ended up fouling him. As somebody once said, how about that?
As you take a look at Roy Green, all he can do is cheer his ball club on. A moment ago, he was shaking his head and running his fingers through his hair. There's one. 15 for Stenger. I think Galindo came over to congratulate him. I think Stu said, get out of my way, I'm busy. There's 2. He's got 16. The horn sounds. Is this a little, I think it's a little home cooking while the other free throw shooter is at the line?
Well, they haven't changed the score yet.
Oh, they put the point on the wrong side of the board. Either way, it disrupts Stinger's concentration with 11 seconds to go. But if he's a good free throw shooter, he'll stick this one. But he missed it. But Glendale gets the rebound. Cates, good, with 6 seconds to go. And Glendale has won. Talk about snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. This is an example of that tonight.
Unbelievable as the Glendale students are having a good time on Kickapoo's home floor.
Glendale scores the last 9 points of the game in under a minute to win. And those folks are shocked. So are we. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this. Well, with 1 minute to go in the game, it was 52-44, I believe. And the Chiefs did not score. They committed some fouls that I think Roy Green wishes they would not have committed. Glendale converted all their free throws down the stretch, and the Chiefs lost a couple of key players, Jay Jones and Rob Samuels, to fouls. And with them went their free throw shooting touch. And Stenger hit his free throws, even though he missed the one that could have tied the game, but Brian Cates was there to tip it in.
That's one of the reasons Stu's the MVP. I mean, he could have gone 3 for 3, but he decided, no, I'll miss this. Cates will get the rebound and we'll win. Sure, why not?
Yeah. That I don't think is how it was drawn up, but that's the way it ended up here this evening. It was 17-9 Glendale at the end of one. 18-11, the Chiefs outscored them in the second quarter to pull to within one, 28-27 at the half. And then they outscored Glendale 11-4 in the third quarter to lead by 6. At the end of 3, 38-32, they had an 8-point lead with less than a minute to play, and ended up losing the ball game 53-52 on the Cates tip-in with less than 10 seconds to go in the contest. Stu Stenger with 16 points. Brian Grove fouled out with 14. 8 for Brad Forbacher, 6 for Kenny Price. He fouled out with 51 seconds to go. Mike Galindo had 5, and Brian Cates and Justin Foley each with 2 second-half points. The only 2 baskets off the bench came in the second half, and Cates had the biggest one at the end of the night. Jay Jones fouled out with 14. He fouled out with 1:05 to go. Ryan McElwain with 12. John Weiss with 11. Ryan Helming with 10. And Rob Samuels fouled out with 57.1 seconds to go, and he finished with 5 in the ball game. And I think, as Abner once said, who would have thunk it? Or was that Yogi who said it?
I thought it was the Beeve, but whatever.
Doesn't matter. It's over, and Glendale has their 20th win of the year, and Mike Keltner gets career win number 201. Our final, in a rather wild finish, it's Glendale 53, Kickapoo 52. We'll have Drury basketball on Wednesday night. We invite you to join us. For Steve Barnes, I'm Rob Evans. Good night from Kickapoo.